Hi, this is Dr. Quevedo. Thank you for watching. In this video, we will study the two main components of a database system. The first component of a database system is the database itself. Now, the database is not just a collection of data. So this data that is being collected has to represent an aspect of the real world and has to have some logic. The data that is some logically related and is created for a specific purpose. The main idea of a database is that we're talking about that we're giving a structure in a way that we store the data with the later purpose that we want to be able to extract information from the data. So there is other collections that have no structure, like for example a set of text files, and this is also of interest to maybe extract information, like for example when we search the web, we want to retrieve specific documents that are from instance for a given query. But that's a different topic, because in that case we're not talking about a database. There is no structure. So in a database, that's what we say, it has to have some type of logic. We created that. There is a purpose on the web. We have just a collection of, for example, files or documents, but there is not logic involved. So okay, so we have the database, and the second component is the DBMS, which is the software that we will use to basically manipulate and control the data in a database. So the database by itself, let's say it's like the repositories where we have the data, but then we have a software that we will use to, for example, define a table, and then in the table maybe we have some constraints about a specific data. For example, maybe we're creating a table for employees, and then in there we want to have an attribute on an employee that is age, and there is a restriction that employees cannot be younger than 19 or 18 or 16 or whatever is the rules for that company. Maybe cannot be older than like 100 years old. Whatever is what we're going to have the constraint, but this is just examples of what will be some of the functions that we will have it in the data in the DBMS. Okay, the database system then will be the database and the DBMS. For our course, the DBMS that we're using is the Oracle system. Thank you for watching.